Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. The dark skin, light skin debate among black men. Yeah, you know what, this is a video I was hoping I never had to do. Because to me it's a non-argument, My brother is my brother, regardless of the amount of melanin in his skin tone, right? But what I constantly come across when I just randomly go through some YouTube videos is that whole light skin, dark skin debate and who's getting the more women, because that's what this shit come down to. Who getting the more attention, who's the top dog, because that's all it come down to. It ain't about who's making more money or who's doing more to economically empower the community. Nah, it really come down to which one getting the most pussy. And I had to weigh in on it. Because first of all, to me it's a dumb debate. It really is, and I'm gonna get into why it is. Because it's funny, you hear both sides thinking the other side has it better. You get chocolate men who think, well, yeah, these light-skinned guys, with their good hair and their, light eyes, they getting all the women. But then, on the other side of it, you get the light-skinned guys, they talking about, well, all these chocolate men, all the women that chocolate men are in and everything. And, it's interesting because they even use celebrities as examples, whether it's a Jesse Williams or Shamar Moore or Jeremy Meeks on one side, or Idris Elba, Morris Chestnut, Tyson Beckford, Donnell Savage on another side, right? Or Donnell Blaylock, whatever his name is, right? It's going back and forth. See, look, they always pointing. It's yeah, all the women going crazy over them. But there's really a reason for that. And I'll get to that in a second. Because, two things. One, I'm a person who, if I contribute to a problem, or if I, wrote something and I feel like I need to go back on it and reinvent it or even apologize for it, I'll do it. And I made a mistake of writing one time that many of the black Mr. Goodbars I've met in my life were light skinned. And, just the way I wrote it would give the impression they're primarily light skinned. One, I should have wrote it and said those was ones I met, but I've met plenty of chocolate brothers who were just as much on that getting the women. Shoot. Because I remember at this gym I was working, they had this one cat. I mean, you had plenty of players in there. Some of them were light complexion, some of them were chocolate complexion. It didn't matter. I remember this one dude, chocolate brother, right? Now, here's how it was with this brother, right? The way he was getting play. Y'all ever see that episode of The Wire, that famous scene where Stringer Bell has that parlay with Omar? And Stringer Bell at some point say, if you can find a way not to rob us. Well, I had to hit something like that with this particular brother. I'm working in the gym and, I had to walk up to this brother, take him to the side, say, dude, can you find a way not to finger fuck women on the floor? That's how he was getting to play. I was like, shoot. And that's how I said it to him, too. I was like, can you find a way not to do this? I mean, he was getting play. But somebody couldn't say, oh, it's just a chocolate brother, because then there was another brother in there. He had that quote unquote good hair, light complexion, light eyes. He was doing his stuff too, except he was kind enough not to finger fuck women on my floor. So it's like, you got basically, man, I got so many stories about that. See, here's the thing. It comes down to the man's just bone structure, his body building, his charisma. To be really honest, his complexion is really not the major thing, even though women might try it. Some women might try to act like it is, but no. Because here's the issue with that. Now you see, you got all these women out here talking about, yeah, I want me a chocolate brother. Well, there's plenty of them out there, but they ain't chasing the chocolate brothers who are, who are short and maybe a little overweight, or even tall and overweight, or the ones that they might look at and just say they unattractive. They ain't chasing them. And the ones who say, well, I just like light-skinned guys. Well, same thing. If that dude ain't have a certain body type, he still ain't getting any play. Like, here's a story from Uncle Ron. There was a strip club I went to, right? And I went a couple times with two different people, right? Fellas hanging out and stuff, right? Now, one day, both dudes were light complexion, right? Both dudes, right? Now, one dude, the women didn't really talk to him unless he was very generous with tipping. They did not talk to him to interact with him unless he was very generous. I mean, that dude had to empty out a wallet. He pretty much had to come in there with a bankroll. Light complexion, right? Came in there with another dude, right? This dude, the women were trying to give him money. Because then they were going crazy over him. It was almost embarrassing him because they kept calling him Christopher Williams. Right? They kept calling him Christopher Williams. And in fact, he's a dude. He could probably make some money as a model easily. Right? They were going crazy now. They both the same complexion though. Now, if it was all about that, like, just, they just checking for the light-skinned dude, hey, then both of them would have made out the same way. But they were checking for one. Both of them were light-skinned. And that's for the people who say, well, they just checking for light-skinned guys. Nah. What women checking for are, like I said, the men that gotta have a certain bone structure, facial structure, basically be handsome. Gotta have a nice body build. And gotta have some charisma. And really the complexion part, I don't care what they say, that's way down the list. Because if they find a man who got a handsome face, body build, and some charisma, they ain't giving them up like that. And and just to let you know about this whole complexion thing, I mean, y'all see my complexion. And I've written in a couple comments when this subject came up. When I was young, it was all about, women were telling me, you cute, but you too dark, right? And so I had a serious thing over it, right? But then, two things. One, when I look back at it, it was still plenty of women showing me some love, right? Two, went to college, put on some weight and stuff. Some of those same women see me, they like, oh, damn, you getting fine. The thing was, I was just real slim back in high school. So what was it really? See, don't get caught up into that. And also, look, when I see men use that as an excuse, it goes back to that video I did. Stop comparing yourself to another man. You don't know who checking for you. You don't know what somebody like. I mean, they might say one thing. Like, I knew this woman, right? Now, she publicly would say she like light-skinned dudes. She checking for light-skinned dudes. But then I personally knew this chocolate dude who turned her ass out. So, don't trip over it. And see, when men going back and forth with each other over it is stupid. That's some female shit, man. Don't worry about it. You are what you are. You got what you got. Be proud of it. Because if we want to get deeper into, especially in the black community, man, we got all sorts of stuff running through us. I mean, y'all see what I look like, but then both my grandfathers were light complexion. You know, I got cousins. Shoot, we run the gambit. Yeah, shoot, I know this one family, right? Both the parents are chocolate. Both the parents are chocolate. 4 kids. 2 of the kids are chocolate. 2 of them are very light. And before somebody say, well, somebody else got in there, both is like the 2 light kids look exactly like their father, exactly like their chocolate father. So you got all sorts of stuff. Even in families where both the parents are the same, you'll get 1 chocolate and 1 light. Even though, regardless of what the parents look like, that's just how it is. That's why it's like stupid. It's like, look, all the things we could be worried about, we worried about thinking we losing somebody to somebody else because of their complexion. Nah, that's a self-esteem thing, man. Anybody who got that shit need to get the fuck over it. Seriously. Now, I know some people, they want to argue and they want to put all the politics into it and all of that. But when it gets down to it, you are what you are. You know? Now, I ain't going to look at some light-skinned dude and say, oh, he going to get all the women. When I, got my little phone, like somebody like always blowing it up. And then when I look back and it was like some fine ass women were like on my tip. And and then when I see all the both chocolate and light skinned brothers who get in there is like crazy, telling me stuff. I mean, it's like, don't worry about it. I mean, the one thing that the men who get into women have in common, like I said, they got nice facial bone structure, handsome, or at least decent looking, body build, and charisma. And they might just have charisma, shit. But they got something that a woman's gonna find attractive. The other thing, shoot, it ain't worth worrying about. Don't trip over it. And I know, yeah, there's some women, they still want to say, well, I want me a chocolate guy. I want me a light-skinned guy. Well, you know what? Here's how you test them. Go find somebody, show them a picture of some, if they say a light-skinned guy, shoot, you can probably find it on the internet. Find some, like, guy who's unfortunate looking and say, hey, you want this guy? He light-skinned. Or they say, oh, I just want chocolate brothers. Find some unfortunate looking brother. A picture or something and show it to him. He said, well, he chocolate. That'll tell you everything right there. In fact, I saw a meme, right? And a woman, she was straight up about it. She showed, it was like a chocolate model, right? And she said, when we say we like chocolate brothers, this is what they need to look like. See, that woman was honest. So it's like, look, don't trip over the skin you're in. Don't trip over it. Don't hate somebody else for the skin they in. It is what they is. There's going to be somebody who's going to say, whatever. They're going to say whatever because, well, that's what they're going to do. That's what people do. And there's going to be some people who got some preferences. But don't be like women up here and shit ready to like start major movements to address it or some shit like that. It is what it is. Right? Don't worry about it. Just go on. Do your thing. Be the best you can be. All right. I know this is a bit of a ramble, but it's like I said, I went through that same shit, but that shit was back in high school, right? And what got me out of it was a very strong-minded black Muslim brother who just looked at me and just he set me straight in about 3 minutes. About this whole thing, gave me a perspective on it, and I never had that issue again. Like I said, it is what it is. I don't worry about it. I don't hate on my brothers who might not have the level of melanin that I have in my skin, but they still my brothers, and they cool. And then the ones who got the level of melanin, hey, we all cool. We all people, man. So stop tripping over that shit, man, especially with the men. We got bigger things we got to worry about. Seriously. Whatever your political beliefs or whatever, shoot. Like, we need to be working together, building some shit. Other groups of men be building shit. We need to be building some shit. All right. Getting together. And I know, people doing that shit individually and stuff got some things going, but shit, we need to ratchet that shit up. All right. We need to ratchet that shit up because there's about to be some serious economic issues coming. While we up here, somebody worrying about whether, some light skinned dude or some chocolate dude getting all this play. It might be a situation where everybody's in the unemployment line and shit having that debate. And what good is that doing? So anyway, just think about what I'm saying. Just keep a perspective on that shit, man. Let the shit go. Now, if y'all gonna hate on somebody who hitting the gym and shit and got some charisma. If you got it, all right. If you got to, if there's that thing, if you have to, you shouldn't do that either. But don't trip over what somebody didn't have any control over, man. Seriously, don't hate on somebody for that shit. All right. Anyway, man, that's it for today, man. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.